Hey fellow enthusiasts, this is Tommy Lanham and I'm on a mission to break the monotony of the mundane and the mediocre by bringing as much enthusiasm to as many businesses, ministries, marriages, and individual lives as I possibly can. Hey, welcome to Duct Tape Devotions.
Here we go.
Hey guys, there is a story in John chapter 11 where Jesus is coming to the house of his relatives because Lazarus, his cousin, has been very, very sick. And by the time he gets there, Lazarus has actually died. He's been dead 4 days at this point. And Mary and Martha, who were other relatives of Jesus, they were distraught, they were crying, people were mourning because of the death of Lazarus. And Martha said, Jesus, if you'd just been here sooner, you could have kept him from dying. And then Jesus asked for her to lead him to the grave. And that's where we pick up this story. It's in verse 38. We're going to read down through verse 44. Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," Jesus said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." Then Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing around here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." That is an awesome story. I would encourage you to just look that up and read that sometime. Again, that's John chapter 11, verses 38 through 44. But what I want to pick out of this story here today are two things. One, in order for Lazarus to walk out of that tomb, somebody else had to move that stone. Jesus asked them, or told them, to move the stone away. The stone had to be moved out of the way before Jesus even called Lazarus to come out. What's your stone? What is it that's blocking you from coming out of living that dead life? Okay? Now, I'm talking spiritually, metaphorically here. But what is it that needs to be moved out of the way? Listen, we all need help. Lazarus didn't push that stone out of the way. Somebody else moved it for him. We need people in our lives to help us break out of that deadness of our lives. And sometimes it's massive. Sometimes it's moving a stone that is literally keeping us in the grave. It may be the fact that you don't have a job. It may be the fact that your relationship, your marriage has fallen apart. It may be that you just have some mental blocks that are holding you back. Those, what we call those mundanians that keep us from living that life of enthusiasm. I don't know what it is for you. And maybe you've already had it moved and you're out, and that's great. You need to be a stone mover for somebody else. Somebody else needs their stone moved. Will you be that person that helps to move that stone away? Now, realize that that was not the end of the job. The stone was moved away. Jesus called Lazarus to come out. And Lazarus came out. He was moving forward. He was making progress. But it still wasn't very effective. Why? Because he still had his grave clothes on. He was still wrapped up. He was still bound by linens. Do you still have your grave clothes on? Do you still have things that are limiting you? Maybe it's not a stone anymore, but it's something that's hindering you from moving forward. God has called you, just like Jesus called Lazarus. God has called you to do something, to step out of that grave and do something big for Him. But we've still got those grave clothes on, and it's holding us back. It's hindering us. It's not stopping us completely, but it's slowing us down. Listen, we need help to get those grave clothes off. It may be a coach, it may be a friend, it may be a minister, it may be a boss, it may be your spouse. I don't know. But we need those people in our lives to not only move the stones away, but also to help us take off the grave clothes. Why? So that we can live life to the fullest, so that we can follow God's purpose for our life, so that we can fulfill the big dream that He has put in our heart. And through that, it will ignite your enthusiasm. Hey guys, if you want to be a part of the fellow enthusiast community, one of the best ways to do that is to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. I know you want to do it. Go ahead, do it now. It will ignite your enthusiasm. Come on. You got me all befuddled now.